Hello everyone, Andre here. Welcome back to Theory Thursdays. Today's video is about something that might seem very easy and you might kind of think that you already know about it, but please make sure you watch the whole thing and you try the exercises, because understanding rhythm is something that's very often overlooked. You know, most people can hear a rhythm, they can hum it or sing it, they can even feel the rhythm, but it's hard to truly understand it. And to truly understand it, you have to go deeper into the dynamics and the mechanics of it. And it becomes so important, especially I see in many students, they have a hard time when it comes time, for example, for live performance, but even worse for studio recording, because you know, you can play a rhythm kind of well, but when you're trying to record to a click track, or when you're trying to record to a drum track, when you're trying to record with other people who are also interpreting rhythm, unless you're all on the same page and you all understand the true nature of rhythm, it becomes very hard to be consistent and to actually be musical about what you play. So this was an aspect of my playing that was severely lacking for a long time, until a very good friend of mine, a great singer, incredible singer, told me once, you know, I think you're rushing a bit. And not only was I rushing, but I was rushing in a very unorderly way. So it wasn't even that I was always a bit on top of the beat. I was actually kind of all over the place. And I'm talking milliseconds here, but it does make all the difference. So today's video is about something extremely simple, but extremely complex at the same time, which is properly counting rhythms. We'll stop at the counting, so we're not going to get into all possible examples. That we'll keep for another video later on, so it will give you time to truly practice the concept of today's lesson. So let's begin. In order to truly understand rhythm, we have to learn how to count it. It's as simple as that. And today I will show you how to count 4 different rhythms, or better said, subdivisions of pulses. And the first one, of course, is to simply sing the pulse. And the pulse is, today at least, 4 notes, all of the duration of a quarter note or 1 beat. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. On paper, you'll see this as 4 quarter notes. And it's extremely simple, of course, to begin with. All you have to do is count 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do it, of course, and you should, with a metronome, and I'll approximate it, and it will go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't trust your inner metronome. You know, get a real one. But that's what you would do. And of course, you can practice with an instrument, and you simply play the same note. You can play a little melody, whatever you want. You'll just go like this, counting and playing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. That's what you'll do with a metronome beneath. With a metronome, what you want to do is, depending on the instrument you play, you might even be able to kind of erase the metronome. You'll be playing so on time that you stop hearing the metronome underneath. And if your instrument is not as loud maybe, or as dynamic, you might try something with a bit more of a transient. You can maybe hit something with a stick. If you have a drum kit, that will work great. If you have just a drum pad, that also works. So you're going for total cancellation of the metronome. That will let you know that you're right on top of it. Now, you might say, well, but how about musicality? How about flexibility in rhythm? That comes later. First of all, you want to establish a true understanding of pulse. The next rhythm is what we call 8 notes. And what we'll do now is we'll play 2 notes within the time usually allotted to the quarter notes. So we'll do this. We play 1, 2, 3, 4. But how do we count that? We use the word end to count the upbeat. So we'll go like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You'll practice it with the metronome, counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And what you're trying to do here, when you count, and of course if you play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, what you're trying to do is you want to make absolutely 100% sure that the distance between the 1 and the end is exactly half of between the 1 and the 2. You don't want to end up doing this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The 1, 2, 3, 4 might be on time, but your ends are not. So we're looking for 8 absolutely 100% equal intervals. If you need help to truly 100% precisely divide the beat into 2 equal parts, feel free to use a metronome at double speed. So you could have a metronome go like this, and you count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, right? To help you out in the beginning. But as soon as possible, you should revert back to metronome only on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? Sing it, play it, always with the metronome. After this, we're going to continue with the third figure that you must know, which is dividing the quarter note into 4 equal notes. And those are called 16th notes. And you can see here on the screen how they're written. And this symbol you see here with the 4 notes tied together, it means that you're playing 4 notes in the space of 1 beat or 1 quarter note. And how do we count those? Well, the first note is always going to be a number. So we're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But how do we count the 3 notes in between? We're going to use these sounds. We're going to call them 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. If you notice, the numbers and the end, they're always there and they're always the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, same as before, but now we just fill in those 2 little spaces. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. The 1, 2, 3, 4 still are on the beat. The end is still on the upbeat, so it's still on the halfway point between 2 numbers, but now we place 2 more notes in there. And again, these 2 more notes have to be exactly the same duration as every other one. They're all the same. And you can play it, of course, you can count and play at the same time, set the metronome at quarter notes, and you do like this. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A, 1. Don't do it just once, continue for a minute or 2. And again, what you're striving for, we're not talking technique here, so I won't tell you about hitting the note the same way, same volume, same tone, but you can take a hint if you want. But it's about timing, so make sure all these notes are consistently the same, okay? So with the metronome will be tick, 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 tick. In my mind, I'm counting 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Okay? And the final figure is the triplet. The triplet is a bit strange because we're dividing 1 unit, so 1 beat, 1 quarter note, into 3 equal parts, which is impossible. It's 3.33333, right? But approximately you'll count it by dividing the quarter note into 3 equal parts, and it's called a triplet. And the triplet goes like this. How do we name it? All right, we go like this. We go 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A. So be mindful that the end now doesn't coincide with the previous end that was right in between the 2 beats. Now it's a bit skewed, right? Because we have to fit 3 notes. And it goes like this. If I play it, I play like this. 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A. Just hearing the notes, the subdivisions, is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct? I'm playing 3 notes in between each beat. How to practice this again? Feeling it is fine, but it's not enough because probably you can already feel it right now. So again, you can bring the metronome up a bit in speed and let the metronome give you all the notes. So like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and you see I'm letting myself be helped by the metronome, but eventually and as soon as possible, take the metronome out from anything that's not a 1, 2, 3, 4 and divide it in your head. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's what you would do. So these are the 4 basic figures. There are more, and there are mixes, of different figures. There are rhythms that start with 1 and move on to the other, but eventually you'll be able to figure out any rhythm as long as you understand these subdivisions. The whole point here is, I know you can count up to 4. That's not the point. The point is to truly make your own the fact and the feel of a truly equal division of the beat. That's it. And it can't be explained more than I'm explaining to you. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of babbling too much because there's no other way. You have to get with the metronome and count as I showed you. And I'm going to give you a little exercise you can do. Here's a very simple exercise you can use to truly practice these 4 subdivisions. The idea here is to set the metronome pretty slow, maybe 60 BPM would be a good starting point, or maybe even a bit faster. Don't go too slow though, because that presents a whole set of problems. So maybe 60 BPM, and you let the metronome run, you won't stop it, and you'll just cycle to all the subdivisions, all right? So it will go something like this. I'm going to count the metronome, right? But I'm going to play the subdivisions. So I'm going to start by playing just the quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I played my quarter notes, my 8 notes, my 16 notes, and my triplet. Now I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to count all these subdivisions because that's what you'll have to do in your head, okay? So it will go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right? So I went through all the subdivisions. You can do this, of course, for a few minutes. You could repeat it. You can mix it up. You can play 4 times each. You can go back and forth. You can create all kinds of exercises with this. What you're going for is not really learning how to count, again, as I said earlier, is to truly start feeling the rhythm. Like truly feel the actual inevitability of the rhythm. You're not trying to fit in. It's inevitable that you fit in. That's what you're looking for. And it's really hard to explain, but you'll get it if you practice this long enough. And this will help you out, even if it sounds very simple. It will help you out with everything that has to do with rhythm. It will help you out when you're recording, when you're practicing, when you're performing. You'll always be 100% aware and in control of the rhythmic aspect of your playing, and it's often overlooked, but rhythm truly is 1/2 of the equation here. When you play music, rhythm, silence, when we play, how fast we play, how slow we play, that's just as important as what notes we play. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this quick video, and trust me when I say that it's extremely important that you take it seriously. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, because it will really help me reach more people who might benefit from these little lessons. And as always, thanks to everyone who supports the channel. If you're interested in that, there's links down here. And that's it. I'll see you next week with a new lesson. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.